At the end of the day, everything I've spoken about so far is brilliant, but the reality is, just in terms of your day-to-day happiness, there is nothing better than sitting down with the boys and just having a laugh, having a joke, having a chat. Hello boys, how are we? For those of you new here, I'm a psychology student trained to be a therapist. So on this channel we talk about performance, mindset, well-being, positive thinking, mental health and all things like that. So if that sounds of interest, stick around. Today I wanted to talk about male friendships and why they're so important. I've done similar videos like this before, but I haven't sort of gone this in detail. On some of my more recent videos I've talked about the cliches of you're the average of the 5 people you hang around. If you hang around 4 millionaires, you'll become the 5th, and everything like that. And they are cliche sayings, but they don't come from nowhere. They are pretty true. I think we can all speak to instances where we've been around higher performing people and we've performed better ourselves. Just to sort of put some meat on the bones of that, for example, if you were hanging around with 4 guys who had started their own business and were all doing really well, when you started your own business, if you were just on your own, you're not going to be doing as well if you're hanging around with those guys. That's just a reality, because you're going to be learning things off them. Again, it's not just that sort of area. Fitness as well. I gave the example in one of my other videos about joining up with the England pre-season training team, but that's an extreme example. For example, if your 3 best friends were all personal trainers, all people that absolutely lived in the gym, ate healthy, trained regularly, ran triathlons or 5Ks or something like that, realistically, if you hang out with those guys all the time, you are just going to get fitter because you're going to pick up on those habits. To fit in with their lifestyle, you're going to have to sort of adapt the way you live. As you guys know, I'm a student, so even in my example, if I started hanging out with the 3 guys on my course who were getting the highest grades, for example, and I sort of went to the study with them and revised with them and library with them and everything like that, naturally my grades are going to probably start to get better just because I'm picking up on their habits, but also I'm learning from them and having the right kinds of conversations. There's an old saying from Ralph Waldo Emerson, to have a friend you have to be a friend, and that is very, very true in life. Obviously we've spoken so far about what value you can get from the other friendship group, but you have to bring value yourself. You have to be the friend that you want to have in a way. You have to bring value and good habits yourself to the friendship group. It's okay to learn off other people, but if you're a complete user, no one's going to want to be friends with you. A key element on top of that is honesty. What's so great in general about male friendships, maybe compared to girls, is we don't sort of sugarcoat the truth or sort of say things just to keep people happy. A good male friend will just tell you things as it is. You don't want sycophants around you. You don't want yes men around you. And yeah, that can be something silly, like if you go out to the pub wearing a ridiculous shirt, your mate might just go, don't ever wear that out again. And yeah, that's funny, that's your decision to make. But on more serious matters, if you're in a relationship that isn't just right for you, you need friends that are honest with you. If you're dealing with a situation poorly, you need friends that are going to be honest with you. The last thing you want is a group of friends around you who are just going to say whatever they think you want to hear and let you make bad decisions. But likewise, you've got to bring that to the friendship group yourself. If you think something's wrong, call it out. That is if they ask for your advice. One of the key rules of being a man is do not give unsolicited advice. All you will ever do is annoy people. In terms of making these friends and meeting people, again, I've sort of spoke about this on previous videos, but join clubs, join societies. Rather than doing a one-to-one golf lesson or tennis lesson or something like that, do group ones. It might slow your learning down a little bit, but you're more likely to meet people there. Go and join your local football club, rugby club, anything, cricket club, whatever thing that you're interested in. Even if you've never played it before, even if you don't want to play the sport itself, but it's something you have an interest in or you want to get into, start off by just going down and watching every week. Make conversation with the people down there, and then after a while say, look, I either want to start playing rugby or I can't play myself, but I want to get involved in the club. That's what I have done. You guys know that I can't play competitive sport or contact sport, but all my friends, my best friends at university, are from the people that I've met during my time with rugby. That's what leads on to the next point. Never be shy. Men are a lot more forgiving than women are. What I mean by that is you can be a lot more direct with men, in the sense of you can bump into a guy at the gym and go, hello mate, seen you down here a few times, just thought I'd come introduce myself, and Tom, do you want to go train sometime? Or do you want to go get a coffee sometime? Like, I'd love to know your workout routine or something like that. Unless the guy's a bit of an oddball or you approached him in a weird way, he's probably going to either go, yeah mate, let's do it, or he's going to go, look, sorry, I'm a little bit busy at the moment, but yeah, catch me next time we're in, or something like that. Guys aren't normally going to be offended by you trying to make friends with them as long as you do it in the right sort of way. Again, touching on the clubs and societies thing, the reason that I always wear England Rugby or Harlequins rugby stash to the gym isn't because I secretly think I play for them. It's because I've actually started quite a few conversations with guys in there who sort of either support Harlequins or support Saracens or something like that, or who are just rugby fans, and they can see straight away that you have two things in common. You like the gym and you like rugby. That's enough to start a conversation. Again, one of the beauties of being men is we can literally bond over absolutely anything. Even if we don't support the same sports team, the fact that we just watch the same sport is normally enough to start a conversation. Expanding on the not being shy point, always be the planner. Always be the guy who makes the group chats, throws the shouts in there, have a list of things that you want to do, be the social sec. Because if you're putting ideas out there, even if people say no to them, they're probably going to go, no, I'd rather do this. But in my experience, it takes that person, just pick a date and say, right, we're doing this, or let's do this day, who's free, let's do this, this or this, and then it sort of goes from there. What you don't want is that just no one ever starts the conversation, no one ever puts the shout in there, and all of a sudden a friendship group just sort of falls apart, disintegrates, or you just end up never seeing each other. Linking to that, build a social calendar. I know I use sport as an example for everything on this channel, but I do think, especially in the case of friendship, sport is the best type of friend you're going to make normally. But have calendar events that you go to. For example, if you're into football, watch the FA Cup final together every year. Watch the Champions League final together every year. If it's rugby, watch all the Six Nations games together, all the Autumn Internationals together. Big game at Christmas, go to some of the games if you can afford it, or if you can get the boys up there. The best way to have that social circle is to just have, right, these are the things that we do every year. If you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, you can't. But each year, different people will come, and then it will grow, and they'll tell their friends about it. We go to the big game at Christmas every year. We've got sometimes sort of 15, 20 people in our group now. It started off 10 years ago with sort of 4 or 5 of us, but as the word spreads, it becomes a bigger event, and you're going to get more and more guys wanting to come along. Last sort of key little nugget on this: have group activities that don't involve drinking. Now, I'm not saying you have to go on hikes or sit and talk business every time you see each other, but the reason I put that in there is because I think there are a lot of friendship groups in this world, especially men, where if you took alcohol or partying or whatever out of it, they're not actually friends. The only thing they have in common is they just like to go out and drink. And of course, it can be fun to go out and drink. Of course it can. But if that's all you have in common, that's not a friendship group that's really going to serve you. At the end of the day, everything I've spoken about so far is brilliant. But the reality is, just in terms of your day-to-day happiness, there is nothing better than sitting down with the boys and just having a laugh, having a joke, having a chat, reliving old memories, talking about good old days, talking about the future. It is just the best pastime to have a solid group. It could be 2, 3, 4 friends. It doesn't have to be an army at all. But just sitting there, being with the guys, is pretty much, in my opinion, as good as it gets. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. I do appreciate you guys who stick around. As always, like and subscribe, comment any other thoughts you have below, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care, lads.